Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you guys for subscribing already, but I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Please tell a friend to subscribe, because once I get to 1,000 subscribers, somebody's going home with a baby bottle of B. That's right, you're getting a 375 of blends. It was dumped 5/12/22 and it is letter A. Look, the only thing you need to do is subscribe and enter the words baby B in the comment section of any video, from the first video to the last video. Enter those words and you'll be entered in a chance to win a baby bottle of blends. Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got Buffalo Trace's Kosher Rye Bourbon. Don't get it twisted. It is a bourbon. It has kosher rye in it to bring it up to kosher rye requirements. But other than that, it is Buffalo Trace, bottled at 94 proof.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
This is an interesting one because I have never seen an age statement on Buffalo Trace. And all this is Mash Bill 1, which is what all these are. Mash Bill 1 Buffalo Trace comes in at 90 proof. This one right here, however, being kosher and having the rye, the kosher rye in it, and it carries a 7-year age statement. Now, that is something new from Buffalo Trace. Also, what's new is the 94 proof that's stamped on the front of the bottle. Let's get into it and see what it's got to offer. I've been wanting to do a review on this thing because I want to see how different it is from regular Buffalo Trace. Let's get into the nose. Now, right away, I get a very light cherry, which I normally don't get on Buffalo Trace. I am getting a lot of that citrus. That citrus is coming through on the nose. And I don't know if it's the 7 years or what, but I am getting oak on this thing. Now, I don't normally pick up oak in a lot of Buffalo Trace, so let's go into the palate and see what we get. Some of the light cherry has transferred over to the palate. A lot of the citrus is transferred over, and a lot of that oak. It's very spiky and spicy. It is peppery. Trying to see if I can get any of the vanilla notes to come out. It almost seems like there's a light honey on it, but I'm not picking up the typical vanilla notes that you pick out of a Buffalo Trace product or any just typical bourbon. Let's go back into the palate. Yeah, the more I sip it, the more that cherry just kind of falls to the background. The citrus notes come forward, but mainly what's coming forward are the oak notes. The oak notes are very prevalent in this glass. And the citrus comes out more on the nose. Now, let's get into the regular Buffalo Trace and see how much different it is. Honey. You get a light oak and a light vanilla. Let's go into the palate. This 90 proof Buffalo Trace, it's much sweeter, it's much lighter. I get a lot of honey, I get a lot of vanilla. This one right here, I get more spices and I get more oak. So it seems like that extra year, because most people believe that Buffalo Trace is aged for 6 years. So we don't know because it's non-age stated, but maybe that extra year has imparted a lot more of that barrel flavor onto the bourbon. But this one right here just doesn't have as much as that one does. Let's go back into it one more time. The citrus in this one is leaning more towards lemon. I'm getting leather across the back, which that I did not get leather across the back with that one. That one was a lot more spicy from the mid to the back. and then it kind of falls flat. Honestly, they do kind of seem like two different products. I really don't want to say which one is better. This one is a sweeter offering. It's much lighter. It carries some of those citrus notes that lean more towards lemon on the palate. This one has some light cherry in the beginning, and then it kind of goes into this oaky, spicy, peppery thing. So maybe the extra year or plus that went into the aging of this Buffalo Trace right here, and the fact that it comes in at 94 proof, so the extra 4 proof points lend more texture to this bourbon right here. And being a little more watered down at 90 proof kind of leaves this one falling flat at the end, but being sweeter in the beginning. So let's get into the breakdown. Is this Kosher Rye worth the chase? I would have to say no. Pretty much like all of Buffalo Trace's regular products that are flying off the shelf that people are running to the store to get, they aren't worth the chase. This one right here, it's good. It offers a different experience from the normal Buffalo Trace, but is it worth the chase? No, I can't see myself running from store to store or standing in line overnight to get a bottle of this. Is it worth over retail? I believe it's worth or goes for about $45.99 or $44.99, something like that. I can't remember. Shout out to CA too, because he gave me this bottle. I want to call him right now and ask him, but I just can't do that. Anyway, I believe it goes for about $44.99 or $45.99. I wouldn't pay more than that for that bottle. It does offer a different experience, but it is not to the point where I would pay anywhere from $50 to $60 for that bottle. Would I give it to a new bourbon drinker? At 94 proof, I don't see an issue giving this to a new bourbon drinker. I think the only thing that would be a hang up for a new bourbon drinker would be those spicy peppery notes, because it does have a lot of those spicy peppery notes on the mid to the back of the palate. Would I always keep a bottle on the bar? If it was in my market and I could get it for retail, I probably would always keep a bottle on the bar. I do like it. I like it. I like that light cherry. I like the fact that it has some of those darker notes with the pepper and the spice coming across the back. It is that good. Will I reach for it every day? No. But it is nice enough to where I would keep it on the bar all the time if it was in my market. With that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Till next time.